See if it's actually on. Let's see my channel. Cool. It is on. Awesome. Now I need to get the chat. Just take a second for anybody that's coming in. No, that's a little bit too big. See if I can put it there. Come over here.
With your host, David Knight.
Welcome on.
See how long this
It's
does.
Friday, September 28th, 2018, the day after one of the most shameful displays of a shameful city. It's pathetic what's going on in Washington. But it is entertaining. I mean, they're getting to the bottom of this, folks. We had a senator seriously questioning Brett Kavanaugh about comments made in a high school yearbook about farting. Yes, they are getting to the bottom of this, and this is very serious, and we have to get everybody hating everybody else. Republicans, Democrats hating each other, men and women hating each other, white and black hating each other. That's the bottom line, isn't it? Isn't that what the Democrat Party is about? Just coming in and mixing everything, and they're doing a really good job of it. Really good job of it. Before we get into that, we're going to begin the show with that in the next segment. This is interesting. We have Elon Musk being sued by the SEC for his comments they made on Twitter, saying virtually certain that they had a buyer at $420. The SEC has filed a formal lawsuit, and evidently what he did was he took the price, the current share price, he added 20%, that came up to $419. And then since he likes pot, and his girlfriend likes pot, as we saw in the Joe Rogan show, he rounded it up to $420. Now, he thought that was funny. But actually, there were a lot of people who bought into that. People buy and sell based on statements made by the directors and the CEOs of companies. And he made fraudulent, misleading statements that caused a lot of people to lose money. And the SEC said it's not funny. As a matter of fact, what they're saying is they're seeking an order to bar him from serving as an officer or director of a public company. That would be any public company. Throwing him out of not only Tesla, but of any public company. I don't know if SpaceX is publicly traded or Gigabattery, whatever. The SEC said, in fact and in truth, Musk had not even discussed, much less confirmed, key deal terms, including price with any potential funding source. The statements regarding specific terms of transaction against Tesla private created the misleading impression that these terms had been decided upon, when in fact they had not even been investigated or determined to be possible. Finally, they said, as a result of Musk's false and misleading statements and material omissions, investors who purchased Tesla stock in the period after the false and misleading statements, but before accurate information was made known to the market, were harmed. Right, it is a serious issue. Even more bad news is on the way for the electric car makers who have been able to survive based on subsidies. This is about to dry up, reports The Hill. Electric car manufacturers are only allowed to offer federal tax breaks on their first 200,000 vehicles sold under a law passed back in 2009 under the Obama administration.
Right at 200,000.
Many are now hitting that cap, including Tesla. And if you remember, Tesla has sued Ontario because they stopped it. And this is something that large corporations can do under NAFTA and these partnerships with government. They're treated equal to government, and if they have projections that the governments make changes, and they can sue them if it affects their profit. And the amazing thing about this is the fact that Democrats are saying it's crazy that we might allow the electric vehicle tax credit to run out just as the American electric vehicle market is starting to gain a foothold. Well, if it's starting to gain a foothold, then why do they need to be incentivized? And why would we incentivize this anyway? Nobody but the Democrats want to do this. We've got the Electric Cars Act now being pushed by 4 Democrats, 2 of them who want to run for president in 2020, Kamala Harris and Cory Booker. No Republicans have signed on to these 2 bills in the House or the Senate. As a matter of fact, they said exactly what the problem is. We've got Pat Toomey saying the government shouldn't be interfering in people's choices of vehicles based on merits. It shouldn't be subsidizing one category of products at the expense of others. In other words, you can buy a non-electric car, but it'll just bankrupt you with all the things that we put on there. And as Bill Cassidy, Republican of Louisiana, said, I'm okay with electric cars, but I don't think somebody who can afford to pay cash for a $100,000 car should be subsidized by somebody who has to borrow money to even try to get a $30,000 car. Stay with us. We'll be right back. I'm David Knight.
I thought what they did to Kavanaugh was despicable. Feel sorry for Dr. Ford. These people can yell all they want to. It doesn't matter. I believe him. Raspy, I believe him. Absolutely, I believe him.
I don't even know what that
She
is.
was abused by the process. I think the allegations by Ms. Kavanaugh and people like that are despicable. And it's all about power. It's all about delaying. It's all about delaying.
Those can't be all adults saying that.
It's not about the truth.
That's right. It's not about the truth. It's all about power.
There you go.
And we had flowers given to her. We'll talk about how they handled this with kid gloves for Ford. Go ahead and kill that music there. They handled this with kid gloves, but we had flowers for her, and we spent lots of hours. Lots of hours.
Carl Anthony Towns stuff sounds
But they're still not satisfied. As you heard, the pussy
like
hat
less drama than
screaming at Lindsey Graham
going
going
on
down
in
the
Congress
hall.
and everything.
No, that's and of course Christine Ford was a pussy hat, but it's also Pussycat also works as well because her lawyer is named Cat, and we've seen pictures of her lawyer with Hillary Clinton. Her lawyer was the lawyer for Ramirez, accuser number 2, who was a no-show. She didn't want to show up today. Just read Ronan Farrow's article, which even the New York Times said was not credible. So yeah, this is what's behind it. I think it was pretty much summed up. It's a satire, folks. It was summed up by the Babylon Bee, a satire site, said success after a full day of hearing and lots of hours with Pussycat. Everyone believes exactly what they already believed about Kavanaugh. After hours upon hours of testimony, questioning, and monologues by presidential hopefuls, every single person in the country still believes exactly what he or she already believed about Brett Kavanaugh going into the hearing. Everybody tuned into the hearings in order to reinforce their viewpoints, not to be swayed by a single piece of evidence going the opposite direction. We accomplished exactly what we wanted to here, said Dianne Feinstein.
Victor Oladipo.
Everybody is more divided than ever before, and the levels of hatred are at an all-time high. That is the point. And folks, that may be satire from the Babylon Bee, but it is the reality that we live in. We are, or should be, the laughing stock of the world. On my way into work this morning, I'm flipping around early morning.
Yeah, I really can't watch any of that
Listening
stuff
to BBC
now.
News at the top of the hour, talking about this instead of what's happening in Nairobi.
I think like the last time I watched mainstream news was when
gossip that they typically cover.
everything happened in Benghazi.
This nonsense.
And I was just up in the middle of the night and I watched
because
it.
This is how absurd it really was.
If it's buffed or boofed, how do you pronounce that?
That refers to flatulence. We were 16.
Okay. And so when your friend Mark Judge said put the same thing in his yearbook page back to you, he had the same meaning. It was flatulence.
I don't know what he did, but that's my recollection. We want to talk about flatulence on age 16 on a yearbook page. I'm game.
Yeah. You want to talk about flatulence jokes? When I was 16, something that was on a yearbook page? All right, we'll do that. Let's spend hours talking about that with the Democrat senator. This is not even a good
Yeah, I'm
joke.
on Periscope right now,
They're going to get to the bottom of this, and all
YouTube.
those fart comments
And
and the
Periscope, I
16-year-olds
still
were
haven't
making in
been
their
able to set
yearbooks
up
at
where
the
I can
time.
see the chat.
Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah called the hearing a national
Why
disgrace.
is it on top
He was being
chat?
kind.
I just realized that.
John Cornyn said it was the most embarrassing scandal for the U.S. Senate since the McCarthy hearing. Lindsey Graham said it was the most despicable thing he has seen in politics, and we got a lot of comments from Lindsey Graham. He went ballistic on these people. But then, of course, Kirsten Gillibrand was not satisfied. She thought it was unfair. unfair to Chrissy Ford. You know, we can't ever
3.
be fair enough to the pussy hats. She had a female prosecutor question her on the details. Can you imagine that? How audacious that she would be questioned on the detail. She is to be believed. You don't ever question a woman about it. Women never lie. Unless, of course, they're Republican women or conservative women. They don't deserve to be heard. You know, it's kind of interesting. The Democrats, when they talk about equality, right, they don't really know what they're talking about. They always demand equality of results, not equality of opportunity.
Get it,
Those two
indeed.
things are mutually exclusive. Because if you're going to mandate equality of results and you don't have the equality of opportunity. The other thing is when it comes to all of this Me Too movement, she deserves to be believed. She must be believed. Well, no, she deserves to be heard, but then she has to make her point. She doesn't deserve to be believed. She deserves to be heard. She has to earn the credibility. Because if you don't have to earn the credibility, if any accuser, and this is the problem with the Me Too movement, if any accuser is immediately put on a pedestal and believed in, you cannot question anything that they did, can't question the details, because that's basically what Gillibrand is saying here. Can't question the details. Well, then that means that there is no presumption of innocence. And that's true. There is no presumption of innocence. We even had Chuck Schumer say that. There's no presumption of innocence. And this is only 9-10 months. It was December 2017, December of last year.
And
And we're at the end of
hookshot.
September here.
Nope.
So it's only been 9 months,
Good
maybe
enough.
10 months since Chuck Schumer had false allegations made against him as part of the Me Too movement. And he was furious about that. And he said, we are
I
going
didn't
to
even
use
know that.
the full extent of the law to prosecute these people who made false charges against me. But then he participates in this and says there is no presumption of innocence. And folks, one of the
Get it?
big issues coming out of this is that Kavanaugh is confirmed, and they're going to have the vote today, later today. If he is confirmed, I hope that he understands the importance of due process, of
Oh,
search
this isn't
warrants,
boring. Come
of
on.
the presumption of innocence, and all of the other things
I know
that
you're
we've
getting your
had in
ass
our
kicked.
society
Come on
and
now.
in our system of law.
Ooh,
Not
you got
because
that.
somebody just arbitrarily decided to give them to us, but because people had suffered under this in the past. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to Ryan Bundy yesterday, because I think it's a good thing for somebody who has felt the scourge, the persecution, the whip
Getting
of
more
government,
drop off.
to not bow down to that, but to stand up to it. People who stand up to that, people who have put things at risk and have been attacked unfairly, unjustly, persecuted by the government as the Bundys were, they understand why you have to have these safeguards for our individual liberty.
Oh, yeah,
They have
probably
seen the overreach of the government. They understand why we need to have sovereignty at the state level, at the local level, why we need to have a balance of power at the various levels of government rather than this top-down pyramid structure of power and usurpation that is being forced down our
Dear
throats.
Lord, dogs.
And so in a small way, if he does become justice, I think this will make him a slightly better justice. I don't really have a dog in this fight, other than the fact that I don't want to have any Democrats pick these Supreme Court justices, because they will be very proactive in terms of taking away our freedoms, in terms of usurping new authority over our
And he
lives.
punched it.
And we have seen the judge, the Republican-appointed judge, the
Man, I wanted a
Reagan-appointed
3.
judge that he replaced, Anthony Kennedy, has gone along with the activist, statist judges on the Supreme Court in the past many times to intrude into our lives, to make rulings on areas that they have absolutely no authority, that the federal government has no authority, let alone the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is not there to make law. And we have a 9th and 10th Amendment that they all swear to uphold. And so I'm very concerned about Kavanaugh, quite frankly. I'll defend him because he is an innocent man in this particular situation. I don't like the way this whole thing has shaken out. I'm not happy with him as a judge. I don't think that he stands up for our individual liberties anywhere near as much as he should. And of course, he is an insider. It's one of the reasons why they have defended him so vociferously when they threw Roy Moore under the bus for exactly the same kind of stuff. He's tied in with the Bushes, all these other people. So, but we'll talk about this process and what it has done to our country. Welcome back. We're going to take a look at what happened yesterday, but before we do, real quickly, this is context. You know, we're talking about the inane questions, the outright
For some reason, none of those are
manipulation
going
and hatred,
through.
and we've got an amazing clip from Stephen Colbert, something that he said last night. Really underscores the vitriol, the hatred, and how
I'm not on
Stephen
Twitch right
Ford
now, though.
is being used by these politicians. And Lindsey Graham got to the meat of that in his angry comments directed at Feinstein. We're going to play all of that for you, but I want to give you one piece of news to just show how irrelevant this nonsense, this show trial, this soap opera is to our real lives. We just had the DEA take CBD, cannabidiol oil, off of Schedule 1 drugs with the approval of the FDA.
This is
think about it.
nuts.
A Schedule 1 drug says that there is no medical use whatsoever, that it is highly dangerous, highly addictive. And we've got marijuana on as a Schedule 1 drug. And they put CBD on there, even though CBD doesn't have any psychoactive effect. It absolutely does nothing for your mind. And it is very effective in terms of health issues. And why is this being done? It's being
had
done because
CBD
a
oil
wealthy pharmaceutical corporation has come up
Didn't do
with a
nothing
product that
to
they want
me
to sell.
but
So the
make
FDA says,
my,
we've approved that. And then the FDA goes to their
information
buddies,
go
the
down.
DEA, and says, we want you to decriminalize that. And so they changed it from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 5 so that you can write a prescription for this.
that's what it is. They want doctors to be able to prescribe it and get it at the pharmacy.
Were created by the United Nations. They were the ones who started the war on drugs. And they created all of these 5 schedules.
All they care
And
about.
they put the drugs in the various schedules. Actually, the 4
My
schedules.
doctor,
They were
I
the
asked
ones
him
who
about
were
if I
concerned
could
about that as a Schedule
use it, and he
5,
goes,
Schedule 4,
I don't even know anything about it.
Addictive drugs and so forth. 5 is just anything that you got to get a prescription for. So the UN was not involved in that. But they had
This is my
four
regular
schedules
doctor
of
because I
drugs
was complaining
in
about
1961.
this
It was
and
1971, 10
my
years
shoulder,
later, that Richard Nixon
which
did
I
exactly
will
what the UN wanted
have
to do. He
surgery
called
on.
the war on drugs. It has been a
I have
war
the surgery
of
on my
drugs,
neck, the
and it has
brachioplexus.
been committed against our people. You won't hear
And
anything about
it's just
this
like,
in the Supreme Court here. Do you think you ought to have some questions asked about that? No,
untangling
no,
yarn that's
asking
all
about who said
tied up.
this and who
But
did that
imagine the
in their high
knots and
school
everything that you have in yarn,
for which he
or
can't remember any
even like a
details
shoelace.
consistently, for which he has no
You know how you like
witnesses
take
to
them
back up
apart, make the
anything that she has to say.
shoelace
And to underscore the
straight
hypocrisy,
again,
Juanita Broderick was there.
and not
So
have
I
any
want you to
knots
get
in
here
it.
and look at these hypocrite
Well, instead of
Democrats
doing
in the
that,
United who had
they'll
absolutely
just
no
take,
interest in
I'm
hearing my
guessing,
charges or the other women. The
they'll either
molten
cut it or they'll
accusation
put something
of
that
violent rape and sexual assault by Bill Clinton.
catches it
Didn't
on
wanna hear it.
fire or something like that, so
Wouldn't
they
even
burn it
consider
down.
it. She didn't deserve to be heard.
They burn
or
down the scar
believed.
tissue that's around my
Didn't have her
nerve
chance
root.
to put her case out there at all. And so we have this situation
Another
again.
3.
I'll underscore this. There's in marijuana plants, there's CBD and there is THC, and you can adjust those by selective breeding, so that you have virtually no THC
Yep.
in some of these plants.
And
And again,
hemp.
they've done the same thing for hemp, even though there isn't any THC in
The
hemp.
CBD
And it
oil
can be
that
used
I
for
have
textiles. It can be used
or
for
had
rugs. It can be used for all
was
these different
hemp
things. It can be,
CBD oil.
you can buy the products, even health supplements, to like sprinkles that you can put on your salad or whatever. But,
I think the kind
you
that
only
I
can
had
grow
actually
that
had
here.
like
You gotta have
a
special
2%
permission from the federal government
of,
to grow this stuff. That's why you got Rand Paul and Mitch McConnell and say, hey, we could grow a lot of
Forgot
this
what it's
stuff in the
called.
bluegrass state. Let's take prohibitions
something.
off
I
of
forgot
this
what it's
instead of us
called.
buying everything from Canada.
But yeah, we're
Because
not
it's
allowed
legal
to.
use it. It's legal to ship it. And so
We're not
that's
allowed
for
to
the hemp.
have
And now they're starting to do that with
grow
CBD.
hemp here.
The psychoactive component is
There you go.
THC. Now, this
Yeah,
is
it
the
had
insanity.
2% of
See, the
THC.
insanity of our government goes far beyond
And that's gotta be, it's gotta be under 2% to be able to be classified as CBD
This
oil.
came 3 months after the FDA approved Epidiolex, a CBD preparation for rare types of epilepsy that's made from cannabis grown in the United Kingdom. We don't need to pay for that. You can buy this much more cheaply from your neighbor or grow it in your yard if they would let you do it. They're going to charge $32,500 a year, this British pharmaceutical company, for you to treat your epilepsy with this. We know that it's effective for epilepsy. As a matter of fact, you got a lot of kids who've been damaged by vaccines, who have uncontrollable tremors and epilepsy. Even in Texas, where they don't recognize medical marijuana, they recognize that as a special case.
It's weird, I don't have my trimmers right
Because
now.
the only thing that works is marijuana to treat it. But we get it
That I got when I was in
That's why it's a Schedule 1.
high school.
And now they said the only good news
Surprisingly,
about this is
just
by
showed
taking it
up
off
out
the
of
Schedule
nowhere.
1, now they can start to do some medical research that they will respect.
My freshman year.
But this is about the money. They're going to do this because these pharmaceutical companies have turned the corner on this. You got John Boehner, who said he was unalterably
It's weird.
opposed.
It's like you have to get these
But now he's
vaccines
seen the green.
right when you're going into high school.
That they're growing, but he's seen the green, the money that is going on all of this.
Nah, I got it
Just
when
real
I
quickly,
first
again,
started
it does
school.
not get you high. It is
I didn't
not
have it before then,
psychoactive.
though.
You can have a wide
And you have
range
to get all
of
those
medical
shots
benefits with
for,
this. Let me just read you some of the things that CBD does.
Entering, I
Reduces
think it was
nausea and
kindergarten.
vomiting. It suppresses seizure activity. It combats psychosis disorders. It combats inflammatory disorders. It combats
But I had really bad
neurodegenerative disorders.
depression
It combats
right
tumors
when I
and
started high
cancer
school.
cells. It combats anxiety and depression disorders. It combats pain and pain-related disorders. But you're not allowed to have it. Why? Because the UN said so. And conservatives who want to keep people off of hallucinogenic drugs are too stupid or disinterested to understand that this medical miracle natural product doesn't have any psychoactive component to it. And even if it did, your war on drugs hasn't worked for 47 years. It's only made things worse. So we have all these different issues. I'm not going to go into all the details of it. I'll just say this about Schedule 1 drugs, just to underscore this. Schedule 1 drugs, and you've had some Republican congressmen even questioning the Trump administration drug bureaucrat as to why this is not happening. Why is marijuana a Schedule 1 drug classed in with LSD and MDMA and heroin? Why is it there? It doesn't belong there. It's got medical use, so first of all, it shouldn't be in a Schedule 1 drug. Schedule 2 drugs are things with high potential for abuse, although not as bad as Schedule 1. Now, remember, marijuana is a Schedule 1 drug. Here's some of the Schedule 2 drugs that are not as bad as marijuana according to our federal government. Things like OxyContin. Oh, yeah, right. Fentanyl. Those are Schedule 2s. We have an epidemic. We got people dying
Yeah,
all over this
I wish I
country.
could be on.
And you know what? They would have
Taking
gotten
part
addicted to that
instead
stuff
of
if they had the pain medication from CBD or marijuana. And even if
having
there
to
are
have
addicted,
something
that can get them off of
after
their addiction.
surgery.
So OxyContin,
And like
fentanyl,
right now.
meth, Schedule 2. That's not as dangerous as marijuana, they want to tell us. Cocaine. It's absolutely insane and criminal. And of course, what's going to happen to you? Just your first offense. You get up to a year in jail or a fine of $5,000 if you want to use medicine in this country.
I know a lot of people down here,
And, of
like
course,
at
you
physical therapy.
Can have other consequences. You can get fired from your
Physical
job. You can
therapy
have
that I
your
went to
children stolen
right
from
before
you by
this.
CPS because there's no due process or presumption of innocence for all of us, the hoi
Person had the
polloi,
same surgery
the
I did,
proletariat,
and it
not like there is
person's
for an establishment Republican.
husband
But we'll
was
talk
about to
this
have
absurdity when
hernia
we
surgery.
come back.
and
All right, so let's get back to this circus.
he made
Capitol
it
Hill
perfectly
yesterday.
clear to me
As it was underway,
that,
we had, GOP senators getting doxxed. Several
he wasn't
Republicans on
going to be
the Senate
taking
Judiciary
anything that
Committee had their home
was given at
addresses
the
and
doctor's
phone
office
numbers released
in
to the
any
public on
scripts.
their Wikipedia pages. You know, because
And
Wikipedia
he
is
made
such a
sure that
trustworthy
he got enough to
source.
last him for
And you know, they have this community that is able to go in there
6
and edit.
weeks.
This is a good example of how responsible these people are. And of
think
course,
he went out
these
to, like,
people who are
Colorado
editing
for
and
it.
producing Wikipedia, which is being used, by the way, as a fact-checking site, and Google, when you talk about climate change and you dispute their quote-unquote science that they don't want to release the data for, or you point out that the models haven't worked or whatever, whenever you do anything that criticizes their climate change agenda, and again, I'll repeat, the fact that you had Cuomo saying, hey, all these people are moving from New York because they
Sometimes
want a
it's
warmer
hard to
climate.
shoot on here because
Like, okay,
I am
so
doing the
you're
remote
obviously not
thing,
worried about
so it's a little bit of a
global warming.
lag.
The people who are moving
Not
to Florida
much,
aren't
but
worried about it.
oh, he's bouncing around.
But if you push back against this climate change nonsense, then
Hang on,
Google
I'm going
will
to try
put up a
on my
disclaimer
other laptop
on your video.
to
And that
bring up,
disclaimer will come from that truthful
and I need to knock that
fact-checking
off.
site, Wikipedia, who just had their editors dox Republican senators during the hearing. Mike Lee, Orrin Hatch, Lindsey Graham all had their information put up on Wikipedia by the Wikipedia editors.
Let's see where this is at.
The wife of Mrs.
Checkbox
Hatch
out.
has been receiving
That
calls
one
nonstop on her
out.
birthday, they said yesterday, as their home address was
Maybe I'll
made
knock
public.
out.
So there you go. There you go.
Knock
Another
out the header.
example of the
It might look ridiculous,
tactics and the collusion of the left, from Google to Wikipedia.
so it doesn't
the
drop any more
hatred
frames.
and the tactics of these people, just unbelievable anymore.
Alert box.
Juanita
on.
Broderick showed up. She wanted to
Keep the
dox
chat
the
box in
Democrats. And she said, I wanted to look them
Just
in
in
the eye,
case.
these Democrat hypocrites
that?
in the eye. Let me play for you what she had to say with Laura Ingraham yesterday.
Oh, it makes me go back to 1999 when Dianne Feinstein, along with every other Democrat, refused to read my deposition to the independent counsel. They wouldn't have nothing to do with it. That just shows you the
Trying
difference
to get
in
it
the
so it
double
doesn't skip any
standard
more frames.
that existed back then and still does today. I think this is astonishing that they can do this to Mr. Kavanaugh.
Well, if your
Just wanna see
allegations
how
should have
good
been
it
taken
looks.
more seriously, why shouldn't this woman's allegations be taken seriously as well? I mean, the process
And I didn't realize it was
notwithstanding,
going through my damn head.
should her word not be respected? Just because yours wasn't respected years ago, why not respect her word and at least give her a chance to be heard?
Oh, I think that she should be heard, but I still have so many reservations about her comments. I
I'm
can't
looking up Periscope
imagine
right
a
this
young
second.
girl going through what Miss
Since I
Ford
can't
said
see
she
it.
went through and not tell anyone. You know, what I went through was horrific.
Yeah, we're
And
going to talk
of
about
course,
that
the lady that found me was the first one that I told. But I told 4 other people. That's just something that I can't imagine that you can keep to yourself and not share with one of your closest friends.
That's what my
Well,
wife
there
said.
are a lot of people who have been victims of sexual abuse or serious harassment say every story is different. There were a number of women who called into my radio show today, Juanita, who had actually been victims of rape and other sexual assault. This is a montage of what some of them said.
Looks like Periscope's not open.
When I was 19, I was sexually abused. I know I've never
Which is
forgotten
very
the
weird.
situation, and I cannot believe that this woman suddenly remembered now.
I was raped 40 years ago, and I'm absolutely furious, and I know that this is a last-minute ploy, again, by the left.
Having background myself
Shirt
being
keeps
rape
falling off.
victim, you do not go about this the way this is coming out. This is for attention. And that does a horrible service to people that have actually had everything taken from them. I used to be a
Absolutely
Democratic. I will never vote Democratic again.
Juanita, quick response.
Oh, yeah, it's,
I
I
didn't
still
see
just
that.
can't
Put it on
imagine
top.
it. You know, people say, why didn't you go to the police, Juanita? Why didn't you do something? Bill Clinton was the police. I had no one to go to. It's like when Eric Snyderman's victims came forward and said, you know, when he was the Attorney General of New York, what do you do when your sexual abuser is the highest law enforcement officer in your state? What do you do?
Absolutely right. What do you do? You're going to complain to the Attorney General about this? He's above everybody else. And the comments that Juanita Broderick said, I immediately told people that this had happened. That's one of my big questions, one of the big questions of my wife as we looked at this, and her response and what she said
I don't know why
about what happened immediately afterward.
Periscope's not
The
working.
fact that how she got home, nobody that she talked to, the person driving her home, because she said she had to be driven home, the response and the interaction that she had
Who
with
knows?
at the Safeway with a judge who she said was there. All of that we're going to take a look at later on. But Juanita Broderick Broderick also went on with Daily Caller. She said that she wanted to look Schumer, Durbin, Feinstein in the eye, and she wanted to ask for an apology from that because it's a double standard. She said, I have 20 times more evidence for my rape by Bill Clinton than Dr. Ford has against Kavanaugh. Democrats turned their back on me, says Juanita Broderick. They refused to read my testimony or to acknowledge me. In 1999, when I went public with my story, the Democrats turned their back on me.
Of the controller.
She said this mantra that all women deserve to be believed doesn't apply to her. She said all women are to be believed if they're not conservative, and as long as the assault was not done by Democrats. And as I pointed out, remember,
there's
it
not
was
such
December
thing as Democrats
last year that Chuck Schumer
in their eyes.
and this Me Too frenzy at the time.
They're just trying to get people out of office.
But of course, he was to be believed because he's a
stop
Democrat.
everything while
And he
there's
was to be
stuff
given
going
due process
on.
because he's a Democrat. He was to have the
That
presumption of
I
innocence
found
because
earlier
Chuck
today
Schumer was a Democrat. But he doesn't afford
that
any of that to anyone else because of political issue.
What is it?
And
The
then she went on to say one more thing also about Pete Ellison. Broderick said, Juanita Broderick said Ellison is leading the
said
Democratic
that
Party
it
right
is
now.
a
He's number 2. He's a deputy DNC chair. He should be kicked out of
humanitarian
office. Karen Monahan has 10 times the evidence
crisis
that Dr. Ford does.
right
Where
now
is her hearing?
is
And
being
of course,
caused
you have the newspaper there in
in the
Minnesota
Middle East that
is
no one's
having
talking
to sue
about.
to even get information about Keith Ellison's alleged abuse.
And
They're not having
a
hearings
whole
there.
bunch of
Women are not being heard there. This is the double standard.
people
This
died
is the
recently.
and this is what Lindsey Graham exploded over. Let's play the clip of Lindsey Graham as he goes off on Dianne Feinstein.
The day you were nominated to the Supreme
This is
Court,
why I was hoping it was on
by President
Periscope.
Trump, Senator Schumer said, 23 minutes after your nomination, I will oppose Judge Kavanaugh's nomination with everything I have. I have a bipartisan, and I hope a bipartisan majority will do the same. The stakes are simply too high for anything less.
I don't know
If you
what I
weren't
can
aware
say
of
on
it,
here
you are now.
about it.
Did you meet with Senator Dianne Feinstein on August 20th?
And that's why I do have a daily motion that I put the stuff out on that I can't put out here.
I did
Or
not
that
know that.
I think will get
Did
censored
you know
here.
that her and her staff had this
I don't
allegations for
think
over
I even
20
have.
days?
I did not know that.
The only
at the
way
time.
people know about it
If
is
you wanted
follow me
an
on
FBI
Twitter because it
investigation,
tells you
can
when I
come to us.
put a video
What
on
you
there.
want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You've said that, not me. You've got nothing to apologize for. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsay said all of them, because I voted for them. I would never do to them what you've done to this guy. This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics. And if you really wanted to know the truth, you sure as hell wouldn't have done what you've done to this guy. Are you a gang rapist?
No.
All right, that's Lindsey Graham, and he was on fire, and every word that he had to say was absolutely true. I can't believe I'm agreeing with Lindsey Graham. But folks, there is a process here that really does matter, and that transcends their partisan politics. Stay with us. Be right back. I'm David Knight. Welcome back. Lindsey Graham was on fire, and as I said before, I agreed with every word that he had to say. Now, I don't agree with Lindsey Graham on most things with the Snowden documents, but to show that James Clapper was a liar. Good for him for doing that. And I've played that clip over many times, and I'm sure I'll play this Lindsey Graham clip many times as well, because he was on fire. He was absolutely right, and he's got more to say, and we're going to let him say it. Right after this plug here, because, folks, we need your support. We need you to support your health and to support this program and to support InfoWars. We're under attack. They don't want us telling you what's going on. And, you know, we've talked about this many times, what's happening. Let me just tell you about some of the sales that you can find at InfoWarsStore.com. For the listeners of this program, we have a special sale. You can use the coupon code REALNEWS to get 15% off the ProPure King water filtration system.
I do have
That's the large one. I've told you many
water
times how you need to
filtration
be
bottle.
preparing in advance
Nothing
to
from
clean
them,
your water.
though.
You never know when contaminants are
I know a
going to
lot
get
of
in.
people that have that.
Don't wait
They
until
love
after
it.
the fact. Because
But
there
it's
can be a
usually
great
like
deal of damage
$400.
once the government finally gets around to letting you know that there's toxic chemicals in your water. They may be even the ones
here in
putting it
Texas
in there. But, you know,
lately,
they've got better
there's been
things
a
to
lot
do,
of
like these show trials, so they can't really do the things things that you think they're going to do, which is to protect you. You got to protect yourself.
Cristiano
One of the ways
Ronaldo.
that you need to do that is
Minus
make
X.
sure that you have clean water. So you can save 15% off the large
Which
gravity-feed
X?
ProPure King water filtration system at InfoWarsStore.com. Just type in the code RealNews at checkout. I'll tell you a couple other items that we have on sale. We have Brain Force Plus, my favorite supplement.
What just happened?
We heard Chrissy Ford yesterday saying that the details were indelibly etched into her hippocampus. Well, if you want to have that happen to you, you can take Brain Force, because that's what it is good for. It will help you to focus.
Were you trying to
and
say
it
something
will
else and
fine-tune all those details in your
blocked it
mind, and you'll
or changed
probably
it?
be even more spot on than Chrissy Ford was, because she's having a great deal of difficulty remembering those details, as we'll show you later in the program. But you can get that for 40% off at InfoWarsStore.com. You can also get Secret 12, our vitamin B12 formula. Get the same effect that you would with a B12 injection, but you don't have to have the shot. You just put it under your tongue, tastes great, and get the same effect with that vitamin B12. Secret 12, 40% off. Finally, we have Survival Shield X2 Nascent Iodine.
Are you
Our
talking
final
about
run,
shoes?
25% off while supplies last. Check out these products at InfoWarsStore.com. There are other sales there. I'm not going to go through.
Forgot
the
which
entire
one
litany.
ones
Let's
those
go
are.
back to Lindsey
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Graham,
Third mutation.
and I want to play what he
I
had
was
to
listening
say
to-
about power, and then I'm going to play for you a clip from
Have you heard the
that illustrates the corruption.
Carter? Is it
and
Carter
the,
5 with that song on it?
The
With
motives
X on it?
behind this whole thing. This is not about getting justice
Something about
for
Cry.
a girl for what happened to her in
Forgot what
high
it's
school
called.
35 years ago.
I think
Not
it was
about
I
that at
Cry
all,
or
folks.
something like that.
Lindsey Graham got it exactly right, and I'm going to prove it to you. What Stephen Colbert said last night on his late night, quote-unquote, comedy show. First, Lindsey Graham.
I cannot imagine what you and your family have gone through. Boy, y'all want power. God, I hope you never get it. I hope the American people can see through this sham. That you knew about it and you held it. You had no intention of protecting Dr. Ford. None.
Yeah, Don't Cry.
She's as much of a victim as you are.
It's a good
I
song.
hate to say it, 'cause these have been my
Cristiano
friends.
Ronaldo.
But let me
Don't
tell you,
cry,
when it
you
comes
mean.
to this, you're looking for a fair process. You came
I never
to the
really
wrong town
followed him.
at the wrong time, my friend.
And because I always heard that he
Yeah,
wasn't
when a friend in
wasn't
Washington
very
get a
good.
dog,
That's what I always heard. But
and unfortunately, President Trump
the
doesn't
stuff that I
have a
have
dog.
heard
He
of
doesn't
light.
have a friend in Washington. He has Stephen Colbert attacking him. Do you remember when the comedians used to be funny?
Man, this is taking
On late
forever.
night, remember Johnny Carson? Remember Jay Leno?
But yeah, I was on Spotify early this morning. Same thing that just happened to me earlier. Yeah, I would play the song, but it'd get me kicked off immediately. Especially since it's a brand new song. Yeah, I thought you were talking about the Jordan X. Since I had the Jordans up. But yeah, that's all of everything off of Carter 5 is, or is it Carter 5, Carter 6? All sound like old school rap songs.
Cristiano Ronaldo. LOL.
How far behind is the chat coming through? Or is it right away? Because I was getting a lot of frames going down, but I haven't had any in like 7 minutes, so that's good. Did I open all of them? Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay.
Like 30
That's not too bad.
SECS or STH.
Are you overseas or are you in the United States? Just wondering on the time difference. Oh my gosh, it's taking forever. Yeah, the only reason I'm playing this is because I think it's the only other thing I can play without getting kicked off from copyrights, for copyright reasons.
Cristiano
Even
Ronaldo.
David Letterman
I
in
live
the
in
early
Greece.
days, the beginning of his career, he was funny. But now we've got
What time is it
people
there?
like
It's like,
Stephen Colbert. These guys are
can't see
nothing
what
but
time it is here.
partisan hacks.
It's like 10 a.m.,
and propagandists.
11 a.m.
They have become the court jesters of the Democrat Party. Here's Stephen Colbert to underscore what Lindsey Graham just said. All they want is power. This isn't about protecting Ford. They don't care about that at all. Here's Stephen Colbert to prove it to you in his own words.
Perhaps the Kavanaugh quote that sticks with me is...
Yeah, I can't be playing that.
Believed Anita. It wasn't even a serious case of sexual harassment. The allegations, even if true...
Probably not even that.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
10 a.m.
a.m.
I figured it was
And he
around
played
that time.
a little bit of that clip there. We're going to show... This kind of power here. And so...
And I figured he was the
people start to
least
understand how pervasive this is. They're coming after you as well.
controversial
It's not just
person I
people
could have
who
on.
are in the press, people who are famous,
Have in
people
the
who
background.
are going for a Supreme Court position.
And I wanted
They're
to
trying
test
to
it
take
out
away
also.
your ability to read information and to share it with your friends, your circle of friends, and put that information out there. Your free speech is being shut
Who
down
should I have?
by these social media companies. They're not social. They're not social. And sitting there looking at your phone instead of interacting with people, that is not social.
Oh, so I should have
But
probably
these
put
social
the
media
Greek
systems
freak in
are
there,
the
right?
most anti-social institutions we've ever had, and some of the biggest corporations
Since
we've
you're
ever
from
had.
Greece.
And just like we see with all this protecting women and so forth, the Democrats...
Man, he
say,
is
we're all
so
about free
tall,
speech. We're all
and he's
about,
gotten so much more
hating
buff.
corporations or what?
It's
They
insane.
embrace everything they say they despise. In spades. If it fits
And I
their
think we
political
got,
agenda, because the means
because I'm in
is
Texas
justified
and
by their ends.
I'm a
They
Mavericks fan.
want power. And I agree with Lindsey
I think we
Graham.
got like his
I hope they
cousin
never
or
get
something.
it.
I
And
don't,
that's
I
why
don't,
we're fighting this
I don't
fight.
even know for a
Not so much
fact
because I care
if
about
they're
Brett Kavanaugh, because
related.
I don't want
It's sad.
them to have any power.
Antetokounmpo.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. Good night.
I always have to say his first name first.
Stephen Colbert saying that, well, he played the impassioned plea, the tearful plea, actually, of Brett Kavanaugh. Brought to tears many times, choked up by what
Cristiano Ronaldo.
partisan
How old are
facts
you?
had done to him.
28.
And he was played on late night television by the
I am
so-called
6'2".
comedian Colbert.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Or 6'3".
You're going to reap the whirlwind, buddy, because we hate
I played basketball for
and what he didn't allow him to finish,
growing up
what he
all
cut
my
off in
life,
the
but
clip
it was more
was
like
exactly
playground
what
stuff.
Graham had also said, and that is, you're going to
And
make it impossible to get
but I played
anybody
baseball
any good who want to
from
be a part
4
of
to 16.
because they see this.
Then I
this,
started having knee
tactic
problems
of
and
personal destruction.
all types of stuff.
If you don't have something on
But I played all
something, you
over
make it
the United States
to
on a
fit
travel
your,
team.
Political agenda. You don't want somebody in a position, so you're just going to make up.
And
dirt.
I was actually-
we saw it, I believe, with Roy Moore. We're seeing it definitely with Kavanaugh.
Damn, you're tall, man.
And
14, 6
Graham said
feet,
it's
4
going to destroy the
inches.
ability of good people to come forward because of
You
this
better be
threat.
picking up basketball.
And to my Republican colleagues, if you vote no,
No
you're
soccer.
legitimizing the most despicable thing
We
I've
call it
seen in my
soccer
time
here.
in
I know it's
politics.
not
And
over
that's
there.
exactly what Colbert is legitimizing.
But
These kind of despicable tactics.
unless you're a goalie.
See, the problem is that Democrats see people as groups. And so they feel, I look at the situations that we have with.
But the funny thing,
Black
after I
Lives
had
Matter
one of my knee
and the
surgeries,
NFL protests, they're kicking the cat. They look at a situation and they say, okay.
after one of my
well,
knee
we don't like
surgeries,
this
I
particular
had
situation over here. And when
they
there's
measured
people
me
where
like how tall I
what
was,
groups are involved. Okay,
and it
we've
was
got a
weird.
black person here, so let's say we're not going to join blacks with whites to try to
Said I
reform
was
law
6'1".
enforcement or even punish that one individual.
And
No, what
then-
we're going to do is we're going to have the blacks against the
No, it said I was
against the cops.
6 foot.
We're gonna say
6
that
foot
all
even.
cops are bad,
And I went back like
black people are innocent. We're gonna
3 months
make these
later,
kinds of generalizations,
and
we're
it said I
gonna
was
break everybody
6'2".
into groups so we
Same
can get
place.
groups fighting with each other. That's typical approach.
Flat-footed, barefoot. Said I was 6'2". And then other ones say 6'3". So I have no clue anymore.
Denigrating that. They continue to do this.
Do you? I've had 4 surgeries.
Kind of oversimplification.
Cristiano Ronaldo. I got knee problems as well.
I was a catcher in baseball, which if you, I know baseball's not big or even well known that much over there. Besides when they played the World Baseball Classic, you know that that was one of the teams that had the Greece team. It was really cool how it was all like minor leaguers and stuff like that. And I actually watched them the most. But if you ever have knee surgery, be sure that actually if you want to see my knee surgery on my Instagram, it's Thhatninetykid, just like it is here. You can see my knee surgeries. My most recent one was in March. But it's not any fun at all. And even when they say like they'll go in there and scope it, it's never that easy.
Who called in there and said, "I'm furious about this as a rape victim."
My knee was held in by scar tissue.
It makes it more difficult for women who are really victimized to get help
but
when they're raped. Just like when they cry wolf about racism,
it wasn't.
It makes it really difficult to do something
I
about
don't know how to describe it.
When they
So
cry wolf about police brutality,
the first time
it makes it difficult to do things
I
when
noticed knee
there's real
problems was
police
actually
brutality.
when
They have made every
we're in
situation
PE
worse
at
because they
school,
don't want to solve
in
problems.
I think
They
6th
want to
grade.
have people fighting
So which
because
means I was
that's
probably
how they divide and
12 or
conquer.
13
It
maybe.
is the divide
Forget
and
how old I
conquer
was in
party.
6th grade.
And that's why I said with Graham,
We were sitting in Indian style, and they were making you sit in Indian style. I wonder if they would call it that now. But it's where kind of like a yoga pose, I guess.
probably the most disgraceful
And
hearings we've had since the McCarthy
when you're doing the breathing and
There's an
everything,
element of McCarthyism in it. There's an element of
and
hunt in it.
it just
Except this time it is the
shifted
witches who
over
are doing the hunting.
to the inside, like towards my
Male and female are out as they
towards the inside of my.
The Democrat
Damn, that
covenant
was bad.
is out there searching for
Towards
scalps,
like
and
my
they don't really care. As Stephen
my
Colbert said,
groin.
we don't care.
That's how it
We don't care that we're
twisted.
corrupting this process. We don't care that we're
And
gonna
ever
make
since
it
then,
impossible
I've had
to get
knee
anybody
problems.
that's any good to run for office, because even if you have a squeaky clean, perfect
And
background,
I
we will
was-
invent something, and we don't care.
Crazy thing was
We
I
don't
was
care
catching.
about the facts. And so Graham's saying, you want power, I hope you don't get it. He also said, if you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us.
I'll take it off, though.
Destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope that you win.
Because I couldn't find anything else that I can play without being kicked off.
Why the news background though?
That's the only reason. I just didn't want anything that I could get kicked off for. I do have like the only other thing I can find that I can put on there is like a Derrick Rose video. But it's only like 10 minutes. So that's the only reason I had it on. But yeah, Porzingis is a beast, man. He's so tall though. And he just had knee surgery for his ACL. And he's pretty skinny. He I'm trying to think of which. See, here locally they just drafted Luka Doncic. I'm trying to think, did he play in Italy or in Greece? But his knee surgery, that's going to be hard for him to come back from just because he is so tall. And he's so tall and lanky, and usually tall and lanky players, they don't have a lot of mass around their knee. And hopefully he builds up a lot of mass. They usually have problems going forward as well. Hopefully it's not something like Chandler Parsons. I actually played baseball against Chandler Parsons. He was playing first base, tallest son of a bitch I've ever seen at 10 years old. We played that game, we played up in New York, a place called Cooperstown. It's a beautiful spot up in New York. Never been to New York City, which is crazy how close I was. But I was just having that on for background. So how tall did you... Let's see, how tall were you like last year?
Cristiano Ronaldo, if he builds a good body
I agree with you. Completely agree.
In the league.
And I forgot to put Giannis back in. Giannis just needs to get better at the mid-range game and he'll be good. But KD still hasn't gained any weight, really. Everybody said when he was coming out that he had to gain weight. He really never gained weight, and he didn't gain any muscle mass. The only fear with Porzingis is you don't want to put more wear and tear on those knees, especially this early after the surgery. He doesn't want to bulk up top. He wants to bulk up in his lower body, which is hard to do after a knee surgery. Because if he wasn't an athlete, doctors would tell you never to squat again. Because it's going to...
Cristiano Ronaldo, last year I was 6 feet 1 inch.
That's... So do you have any joint pains from growing so quickly? Because I'm supposed to be 6'6", but as you can see, the thing that's in my lip, it stops your growth span. Growth plates. Because I talked to the doctor when I think I was like 14 or 15, and I was already 6'1" when I was, I think I was 6'1" when I was in 6th grade, or 6 foot when I was in 6th grade. And I asked the doctor, I was like, so how much more am I going to grow? And he looked at the growth plate inside my knee, and let me see if it brings up, I can't see the video. So I had about, let me see, about the distance between my hands, which I know you can't really see, but imagine from this mic right here to like right here, probably like 8 inches I had in growth inside my knee when they did x-rays on my knee. Like you could see the growth plate and everything. So I got really big shoulders and everything. Even my pelvis from playing catcher or something is wider than most people's, which had me have more power. But there's a lot of things that just don't lift weights. If you're gonna lift anything, do like those bands. Don't put added pressure on your body. And you can do a lot of workouts with just your body weight.
Simply have to go up stronger than that. Could be a simple layup if he shows a little more determination.
And stretch. I know that a bunch of NBA players, that's like one of their main things in schools down here for like NBA academies, or not NBA but basketball academies. It's stretching. Like I go to a physical therapist that works with all the major athletes around here, and he put me in this thing called the cage the other day, which is I don't know why it's so laggy, because I keep
Sway I do tough. Why is your stream so laggy, bro? Cristiano Ronaldo, I gotta go, bro. I'm subbing, keep it up. I'm doing calisthenics BTW.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, thanks for subbing. And I've constantly been trying to improve this stream, and I don't know why it's lagging at all. And I can even tell the difference from, because it's telling me that right now it's taking up like 50, it's taking like 60% of my CPU, just the streaming software. And it's the only reason I'm not playing this game on Steam, Sway. And I'll be back on tomorrow too.
Paul with the steal. Fast break, Dallas. Paul's running, and a wide open look for Simmons. Off the mark there with the
It keeps. That's what I was just checking out just a second ago. It's probably because I have so much stuff open. Let me actually close this thing in the background. Let me see what else is on that one. But part of it is the thing that has the voice command on it. That's part of it that's having it do that. And it's probably the little chat box or the webcam box, because that just knocked it down a bunch. And I bet you it'll be better if I knock the camera out. Find out. Because that camera, the camera app that I'm using is called, what's it called? Tridef, which takes out the background, but it's always working. So but still it's saying that it's like a 47% on the CPU. But I'm also not directly into a wired line. Sway, where are you located at? You in the United States or overseas?
We welcome you back to Philadelphia, town full of history. That's City Hall right there with the statue of William Penn perched atop it. Survival tactic. Big margin on our hands, but we'll see if that gap narrows down in the third and fourth quarters. Victor Oladipo really making a difference here.
His points production thus far off the charts. It's only been.
But if I had this, if it wasn't remote play, it'd probably be better. But I wouldn't be able to have, because I'm using Streamlabs, and that takes a lot of your CPU. And I was trying earlier to use my Steam account, because I have this on Steam also, and it was in a private one.
So that's who Terry Stotts starts the second half with.
It was in a private stream, and man, it wasn't just lagging, it was stopping it completely. Oh crap.
Using his post moves to get the 2 points. Hardaway has got his second bucket. Here's Lillard.
But I was actually thinking about doing it so that
it's tipped.
Encouraging to see Cantor trying harder on the
yeah, I might be able to do it here in a couple seconds. I can go straight off of the
And Hardaway gets it to go. Hardaway has got
off of the PlayStation.
I'll tell you, the floater is a shot that takes great
and it'll be a lot better after this game. I'll do that. And then I'll just I'll probably just go on and put the rest of it on Periscope or Twitch. But I won't be able to have the face cam that I do have on it kind of sucks. It's just the regular PlayStation one. And I'll have to get my mic for it. Oh crap.
Emmanuel Moutier's checked in for Hazanya. Dallas leading by 14. Here's McCollum. Chalk up 2 there.
Yeah, I mean, he's been orchestrating the whole game at a high level.
Yeah, if you just want a regular, just like sports stuff, that's gonna be what most of my stuff is on the Thhatninetykid one. And it should be in the description.
9 points in the game so far.
Really like the energy.
The only reason I have it on this one, because I was playing the other thing in the background. I was trying to test out if people can see it.
And Dallas leads by 15.
It's a +5 advantage.
Because I've been messing around with everything that I have on here. I've moved my room around like 4 or 5 times, just trying to see how everything is working.
There's the pass to Porzingis. No good from outside.
And even without that 3-ball dropping for him, the defense should have done more on that last play.
Lillard misses.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
And Embiid with the block.
Let's see if I can get this up. Oh, nope, that's not it.
Nice D from Porzingis.
If you're playing this and you get Simmons, just always take it to the hole with him.
Dallas leading by 15.
He's better than LeBron at taking it to the hole in this game.
Dallas again missing.
Well, obviously it's been an off night for him offensively, but give his teammates
but the game lags as it is.
And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Damian Lillard. That is his first foul.
But I was actually thinking, because I do have a second camera in here, I was actually thinking about putting the second cam onto my TV. Because it would probably be a better picture. Because I can have it in 4K and everything like that. Like I said, I'm trying everything to have the best one. My capture card broke.
It's rebounded by New York.
And I complained about it on Twitter to the company, and they haven't said nothing. I've sent them emails. I've done everything that I can. I don't have the money to go buy a new one. Since I've had surgeries, I can't just, I don't have the money to do it. I got everything for the setup, and then it just broke.
Down low, tries to snap the cold streak. That's good from Moutier on the assist by Lee.
Well, Emmanuel Moutier, that kind of shot will up your field goal percentage, gentlemen.
And Dallas calls their first time out of the game.
Yeah, you can sense he wasn't happy with how things are going here. Probably looking to change it up a bit.
See how bad it is
lagging. It's a good call, Greg. They need a fresh, new approach here.
A different look for Dallas. Karl Anthony Towns checked in for Simmons. Hamilton comes in for Victor Oladipo. And Paul.
It's crazy. My laptop has better picture than anything else.
And it's Burke in for Moutier.
And oozing with confidence right now. Paul makes plays off the bounce that others can't.
Here's Burke.
Doesn't look like it's lagging too bad now. The graphics do suck when you're doing PS4 remote play though.
And taken away by Paul. They get it again.
Because even the shot stick lags severely.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
That's why mostly on this, when I'm playing, when I'm streaming, I go to the rim every time.
And stolen by Cousins. To the
Get
inside.
oh, right in his
Porzingis with
face.
the steal.
But anybody that's still left on here, have y'all seen what's been going on with Jimmy Butler?
Knox has got his second basket.
That was just a
That's crazy.
possession. Getting it in tight for the high percentage shot.
He basically got with Karl Anthony Towns' girlfriend or ex at that time, which is nuts. And that's what. And I think that happened in Greece. It did happen in Greece.
And the winner today, the big fella here with the sweetest of dimes.
From everybody that was talking about it, was saying that Karl Anthony Towns' ex-girlfriend or girlfriend at the time was in Greece, and Jimmy Butler, they checked when he posted this picture, was also in Greece.
Okay, now let's reset our lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this fourth quarter.
So
Setting the floor for the Knicks.
it's got to be something with. There's got to be something to it. Can't be just one of those NBA conspiracy. It's summertime. There's not really any news. Or it's off-season time, not summertime.
The 10-footer. And he gets that one to go off the front iron. Here's McCollum.
Ooh.
Shoots. It's good. Only a few seconds into the shot clock.
Man,
McCollum's gone 3 for 7 tonight.
It's weird. They keep changing his height on this game. Or like the last couple years. When he was a rookie, he was 6'5", and like 2 years ago he was like 6'4". And then I checked it earlier. He's 6'3".
McCollum no good. Now the Knicks.
I don't know when they update any of this crap or what, because like Luka, they're saying that he's 6'6", and everywhere I've seen he's either 6'8", and then Dirk said that he was closer to 6'9". So.
And Dallas leads by 17.
Continuing to push the action.
And then they say JJ Barea is 6 foot.
They've got their foot on the gas pedal right now. No slowing down. The defense starting to look helpless.
There's no way JJ Barea is 5'8".
Yeah, he needs to tell his guys to just box out with some.
I was at a
basic basketball. They've been lazy
basketball, the Mavericks summer camp that they had. This was when. This was real early on, like. This was like mid 2000s. And Dirk came in there. Holy crap. And this was probably when I was in 7th grade or 8th grade. And so I was already like 6'1", if not 6'2" already. And man, it looked like I was like a I was gonna say blow up doll, but like a stuffed animal or something next to him. He was so freaking tall.
There's a screen by Cantor. Here's Ntilikina, defended by Paul. 4 on the shot clock.
Ntilikina, where's he from?
Ntilikina can't hit.
That's what we're talking about in terms
I know he's from overseas. Is he from France?
You gotta protect the rim.
No, exactly, Greg. Especially when the ball is that deep inside, you've got to respect how he altered that shot.
Hopefully it's not lagging still.
And Azania gets it to go.
It's shown that it hasn't been since I took everything off, which
And that's
sucks.
not nearly the kind of defense that's going to prevent a player of his ability from scoring.
CP3. Spin on him.
Outside. Here's McCollum. It's
Oh.
deflected. 1:43 left to play in the final quarter. And now here's his own.
Yeah, I haven't been making anything of late. Just for the fact that I've been sick, and also a lot of things have happened lately. And like in my personal life. But I never intended not to stream or not to make videos. I know most of the people, what kind of sucks is I know a lot of people don't like the videos that I make normally that come in and watch the sports streams. So, and I don't want to alienate anybody or make them like, what the hell is this kid doing?
Boy, it really has. They can cruise to the finish line from here.
Because I have a lot of interest, and most of them are in sports. But all the politics that happened just had me stop watching sports for the most part. And it's not really the sports, it's the journalist around the sports. I used to watch ESPN and all that all the time, and I just stopped.
Set there for the jump shot. That was the key to the play.
Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. Took him no time at all on that one.
Running up the score, showing no mercy.
At this point, they're completely overwhelmed.
Y'all should have saw when my controller broke earlier when I was doing it off of Steam. It just crashed. What are you doing, Wiss?
Right, frustrating for sure.
Whiskey's my
I
dog.
don't think they'll be able to mount a comeback.
One of them.
The shot by Paul, no good.
Yeah, bad shot there. Trust is lacking. You got to be willing to make the extra pass.
I'm not sure why he doesn't continue to move the basketball. Would have served that team much better.
Trying to think, since it's only, I don't know why it's not on Periscope.
And boy, they really put in a supreme effort. It just felt like once they had that lead and it was comfortable, they were not going to relinquish it.
But my signal should get better when I get the dreaded 5G router. Everything should be quick and have no problems. What the heck? Carrier settings update. New settings are available. Would you like to update them now? What the hell is that? I'm taking a picture of this. I always get these. But I'll go ahead and stop the stream, and then I'll come back right probably in like less than 10 minutes. But the bad thing about it is, could I, maybe I can do that. I'm gonna go straight to my my Twitch account that nobody knows about, and I'm just gonna basically grab that image off of the screen. So have a good rest of the night or morning wherever you are, and I'll be right back, and stay positive.